Yo, what's good, my nephews and nieces? This is your favorite uncle, Uncle Demi, and today I have another special banger for you, all right? Today we're going to be looking at the updated best shooting badges on NBA 2K22, old and new gen. But before we get into this video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Liking up the video will push the video to the recommended, and of course subscribing will put you on Noti Game for your daily double uploads. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So, how we're going to break this down is this. We already know how it goes, man. Tier 1 is going to be the best absolute badges you can get. Tier 2 is going to be like the second tier badges, not as good as Tier 1, but could be Tier 1 based upon your playstyle. And then, of course, we have Tier 3, which, again, maybe are good supplementary type badges. They're not badges that are a must-have, but they may be good for stackable purposes, which are Tier 1 and Tier 2s. But we're not going to get long-winded with this. We're going to hop right into it. We're going to start from Tier 3, work our way up to Tier 1. All right, so with our first Tier 3 badge, we're going to be looking at Deadeye, okay? So obviously, as you see right here, Deadeye is basically jump shots taken with defender closing out, receiving less of a penalty from a close shot. Now, one thing about Deadeye that I like about this year is that it doesn't take a lot of a contest for Deadeye to pop up. It has got to be in the vicinity, but you do have to be, the defender has to be right front and center. So that's the reason why it's not going to be a higher tier, because not a lot of times, especially as a primary ball handler, are you going to have a defender straight in your face. Usually that's more of a catch and shoot type situation, but it's still good and it activates at a high rate. As you can see, as right here, it's a Tier 3 badge, right? But in the way that the game plays, or how our play style usually comes down, it's not really a Tier 3 badge, right? But in this case, we're going to have it as a Tier 3. So without getting confused, because I know the way that 2K has it, a Tier 1 badge is a low badge, but usually a Tier 3 badge is going to be a low badge when it comes to the rating system, right? So when it comes to Deadeye, I still feel it's a Tier 3 badge. Now let's look at our second Tier 3 badge, and that is going to be Comeback Kid, okay? So Comeback Kid boosts his shooters mid-range and three-point shot abilities when trailing in a game. Now, you do have to be down by 7. That's why it's a Tier 3 badge. But the boost that you get from it is extraordinary. So usually just throwing this on silver, bronze, or that type, if you have any leftover badges, is definitely something that you would rather do. As you can see with clutch shooter, shot attempts that occur during the final moments, you just don't want to have this one. This one here is good, but Comeback Kid is better, right? Because especially in the park, all you have to do is, like I said, there's times when you're down, this badge will pop up, you just get it on bronze, you're going to be good to go, okay? So Comeback Kid is definitely a Tier 3 badge. It's a good badge, but a supplementary badge that you can get at maybe at a silver or bronze level. And then the next one we're going to look at is Space Creator. Now, the reason why Space Creator is a Tier 3 badge for me and not a Tier 1 or Tier 2 badge like higher up is because a lot of people don't play like this, okay? So Space Creator increases a player's ability to both his shots after creating space from the defender, as well as cross up an opponent on step back moves. So when I say a lot of people's not like that, a lot of people aren't necessarily doing hop steps and all that type of stuff, trying to dribble and up. A lot of people just use LeBron James, size up, and then go back to the rim. That doesn't work. They back up, LeBron James, size up, run to the corner, fade, right? The way that dribbling is very simplified. So really, this badge is beneficial to really, really good dribblers that know how to combo up, know how to put those combinations together to create that space. So again, that's why it's a Tier 3. For more experienced dribblers, that might be at a Tier 2, maybe. I want to put a Tier 1, but definitely at a Tier 2. But it's right there on the cusp between a Tier 1 and Tier 3 badge, okay? So just to recap, all right, for our Tier 3 badges, we're looking at Deadeye, we're looking at Comeback Kid, and we're looking at Space Creator. So maybe what I should do to make it even simpler, let's put these at silver level, right? So then we'll know that these are Tier 3 badges, okay? Now let's look at Tier 2 badges. Again, Tier 2 badges, they can fluctuate depending on who you are. It might be Tier 1 to you, it might be Tier 2, but these are definitely must-have badges, especially for primary ball handlers. And the first one is going to be volume shooter. So we're going to put this Tier 2 badges in gold, okay? So as a Tier 2 badge, all right, volume shooter. After a player has taken a small handful of shots, an additional boost to shot attributes is given for every subsequent shot, whether it's a make or a miss. Now, obviously, this makes sense, man. This is like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan type takeover badge here, because the thing is this, you don't have to make the shot. All you have to do is just shoot. And if you are the primary ball handler on your team, or you somebody that loves to shoot, this is a must-have because the boost that you get is substantial. All my builds, my primary scoring builds always have this on Hall of Fame, right? It's a tier 1 badge, it's cheap, it's the value that you get from it is insane. I always put it as a tier 1, Hall of Fame as high as I can possibly get it. And I think you should too. The other tier 2 badge is going to be Amped. Now, Amped, I feel like a lot of people sleep on Amped. It reduces the penalty that fatigue has on a player and their ability to make shots. A lot of us do not have handles for days on gold. A lot of us rock handles for days on silver. Unpluckable might be on gold, but as a 6'9 build, as we have most 6'9 builds, you're just not going to get that high tier of handles for days. Plus, some people play good defense. You're flashing red sometimes. I love about Amped is that you literally, once you're getting fatigued, if you have this, for me, I try to get this as high as I possibly can too. Usually it's on gold or Hall of Fame. There's many times when I shoot, I feel like I get the greens because of my fatigue. My bar might be really low, my jump shot is slower, and I might miss the green window, but it expands on that green window and allow you to hit those shots. So that's why I always, again, rock with these. And when I say always, I mean like literally tier 1, tier 2 badges, I'm always gonna have on, okay? And then my last tier 2 badge is gonna be blinders. Now blinders, this is the reason why I have blinders above Deadeye. Because blinders, this thing pops up, if they're not right in front of you, like they're a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, all completely to your left, completely to your right, this pops up every time. And blinders is such a good badge. I mean, everybody knows the contest you get. If you're a spot-up shooter sitting in the corner, it's so good. I mean, anybody and everybody that plays this game competitively or just knows the game knows that blinders is very important to stop these defenders from getting really, really strong contests on you. And even if they do get a contest, the contest system will just allow it to be a lot lower than what it was because you have blinders. So again, these are the tier 2 badges: volume shooter, Amped, and blinders, okay? Now, let's get into our tier 1 badges. There's 3 of them. I try to keep them all in 3s. I ain't trying to have them all out. They're tier 1s for a proper. And the thing is this, they're tier 3 already, all right? So as you see right here, Limitless range is absolutely toxic. Now, I have not played with anybody that has a 99 3-point shot, but it would be pretty fun to see. But I know people that cook it up with on gold and silver, right? I want to say that. If you get takeover, you definitely shoot from half court. But I wonder if you can have Hall of Fame without having take. Are you able to shoot it from half court? Now, if you have a build like that and you know the answer to that, let me know in the comment section. But Limitless is just obvious. It's a must-have for any shooter, right? If you're spot up, you can spot up from half court. You know, if you're a primary ball handler, it's just a must-have badge. So you want to make sure you always have that as high as you can. And then, of course, the other tier is going to be Hall of Fame or just Agent 3s, okay? Agent 3s, for obvious reasons, fading has been an issue. And I say issue because I feel like people shouldn't be able to fade like this since 2K22, right? And again, I feel like Agent 3s, it improves ability to pull up or spin shots from 3-point range. Again, this is basically Chef from last year and what's the other one? You know what I'm talking about. All in one. But regardless, if you can get this badge, I know for 6'9", it's a tier 2. Just getting it on bronze, you see a difference, right? But if you can get as high as you can, it's ridiculous the type of the make percentages that you get. So again, I feel like this is always going to be one of the tier 1 badges. These two are always going to be a tier 1. I think the other one that I'm about to say is definitely tier 1. And I know a lot of people sleep on this badge, but let me go ahead and drop this down here. Let's just drop a couple of these down, all right? All right, it's going to be Green Machine, okay? Green Machine, to me, is definitely not the Green Machine from the previous 2Ks. This one right here, when it says gives an additional shot boost when consecutively achieving excellent releases on green shots, me personally, I get this after I green my first shot. This starts popping up after my first green shot. And I feel like, I don't know if it's, my head, but regardless, the higher I have this badge, the more consistent greens I get, okay? So I feel like this is always going to be a tier 1 badge for me. When I make my shooting builds, I'm always hunting for Limitless range, Agent 3s, and Green Machine. So that's why I have these as my tier 1 badges. Let me know in the comment section what you think about these tier systems. Just to recap again, tier 3 is going to be Deadeye, Comeback Kid, Space Creator. Tier 2 is Volume Shooter, Amped, and Blinders. And of course, my tier 1 badges are going to be Limitless, Agent, and Green Machine, okay? But other than that, this is your favorite old head, Uncle Demi. I'll be back really, really soon with another banger, man. And you know, when I say back soon with another banger, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tomorrow, man. I'm out.